What is going on there, guys? My name is Matt, or Chewy as most of you will know me as, and today I'm going to be just updating a video that I made about 10 months ago now on how to use and utilize CSGO Lounge. I have a lot of people talking to me on Twitter, adding me on Steam, etc., talking to me on YouTube, asking how to trade well on CSGO Lounge. And the video that I made 10 months ago was relevant for how the CSGO Lounge community was working 10 months ago. In the space of these last few months, things have changed a lot. Different things have come into fruition really with Lounge, and so therefore the whole, in my opinion, scheme of trading has changed. To bring up an example, when I first started trading on Lounge, a lot of the essence of it was really just to get a fair trade with the other person, and you just tried to swap your items around and create a nice fair trade. Nowadays it's all changed. You'll see people overpaying if they upgrade items, and basically, you know, people are looking for profit. It's changed a lot in my opinion. That's just the way that I see it though. Other people must have different opinions on that. I'm not saying that that's fact, but I just thought I would update this video and let you guys know how things have changed and some of the new features to be watching out for on Lounge if you are going to be trading on there. What this video won't do is to teach you the simple logistics of Lounge, like how to add a trade, how to search for items, etc, etc, because those things I have already covered in a previous video. Some of the things in the last video I will cover over again, just to remind you guys of them, but I will link the video down in the description below to make sure that you can check that one out if you just want the simple logistics of how to set up your own trades, etc. like that. So let's have a look and see where my trades are at the minute. I've only got 3 up at the second because I'm not really looking for too much at the minute, but as you can tell, I'm only really interested in swapping out one item here. And I'm only interested in getting one of these 3 items here. So I'm either looking for a Karambit Fade Factory New, one of the new skins, the M9 Bayonet Marble Fade in Factory New, or a nice Karambit Slaughter Factory New. And let's have a look at one of the trades. So obviously there's 3 options that you can click here at the top. The first one is to go to the trade, so you can click into the trade. We'll do that in a second. The second one is to mark as done, which basically just deletes the trade. So once you've actually completed the trade that you've been looking for and you don't need to offer up these items anymore that you've got here, you can click mark as done to get rid of it. And finally, the third one is to show matched trades. And let's just click that very quickly just to show you guys what it's like. So if you click it, what you can see is everybody who has got a Karambit Factory New here in my instance and who is looking or a Karambit Doppler. Obviously, some of these people have got lots of different items, but we can see here this person, this trader on Lounge, has got a Karambit Factory New, and he's looking for one of these items, maybe some other offers, and some keys as well. So that's a really nifty feature. It's always been on Lounge, but I didn't really introduce it too much, I don't believe, in my last video, so I thought I would now. Let's have a look and show you guys my current trade, so I can show you guys exactly how I set up my trade page. A lot of people do it in different ways, and I will show you an example of somebody else on CSGO Lounge who puts the description in a slightly different way, but this is just how I do things and it works for me. What I like to do is at the start of the pages I like to include just the initial information about the knife. So evidently people can click over the top of it and see what it is, but it's just a Karambit Doppler in factory new condition, and it's a phase 1 Doppler. I will also link a video down in the description to you guys so you can have a look at the different phases and different skins basically of the Doppler, because I don't think skins is the right word, the different conditions maybe, because there's 4 different phases, and then you can also get some other types of Doppler as well. They don't all look the same, so that's something to be aware of initially if you are looking at one of these high tier knives. I understand, of course, that some of you won't be, so this won't be relevant, but I just thought it was an interesting thing to point out. The next thing that I decide to do is to put the float value in. This is something that is new and I have not covered on my channel before, so I will go into a bit more details about that in a few seconds. The next thing that I decide to do is to put down my list of rules. Oops, sorry about that. But I like to just set some rules on the trade. I don't want to be too mean with these. The only thing that I seem to put in people's faces is the fact that I ask them not to lowball. Unfortunately, it seems on Lounge that a lot of people do ignore these and don't read the description, and that is something which you may just have to get used to. I ask people in my first rule not to add me on Steam, And the number one thing that people do on CSGO Lounge is add me on Steam. It's just the way it is, unfortunately, when people are looking for a quick trade or just want to get in there fast so they can get their hands on your items. But all the same, what I like to do is just list a few little offers here, rules here, just to make sure that I'm happy with the way that my offers are coming in so I can keep on top of them. Some of these rules won't be relevant for you and your items, but if you think of any which would be fair, then please put them on your description page. The next thing that I add in down here is my buyout offer, and I currently set 300 keys as my buyout offer for the current knife that I have now. So if you've always wondered what BO means on CSGO Lounge, it doesn't stand for body odor or best offer. It actually stands for Buyout Tier, which basically means that if somebody offers me a good set of 300 pure CSGO keys, then that would be my buyout and I would probably accept that offer. What this does is it just gives people a good mark to go for, basically. They can see what kind of a level your knife is at, what it's valued at in your opinion, and they can base their offers off that buyout. What you will see quite often on Lounge is that people will set a certain amount in keys, and then they will also set a buyout in items. Usually they will ask for an overpay in items. So for example, if I wanted 300 pure CSGO keys, I would therefore ask maybe for 320 keys worth of items. That may not make sense. If it doesn't, please leave a comment in the description and I can try and explain that a bit better. But basically, if you're going to be trading items, expect to pay a slight bit more than if you were just paying in pure CSGO keys. The next option down here is the current offer. This is up for debate about whether you include this on here, but also I feel that it's a good thing to include because once again, it gives people who are offering on your trade a good kind of level again to look at to see if they can trade for the same price, whether their offer is going to be on the same level. So here you could include, for me for example, it's this Memorize guy here. He's offered me his Karambit Fade factory new there, which is in very good condition. I've had a look at the screenshot, but I won't bring that up now. And he said here that if I add, so he obviously wants me to add some items, and I'm actually at the second in discussions with this person here. So what I need to do now, I'll do that in a few minutes time once this video stops, is to put here on my current offer saying Karambit factory new, Karambit Fade factory new even, from Memorize even. And that shows everybody who's offering on this knife that I've already got an offer my way and they are either going to have to beat that offer or match it basically. The next thing which is shown is the screenshots of the knife. So obviously we gave a bit of information about the knife earlier on with its phase 1 standard and about the float value, which once again I'll go back into in a second. But then also here I like to include screenshots. If you are trading with high tier knives or even some high tier skins which may need to look nice for people to want to have in their inventory, it's always nice to include some screenshots. So as you can see here, all you need to do is click on it and it should bring it up, and there we go. So I've got the play side here, so you can see the play side of the knife. And then we will go back. So that's what PS stands for, and then BS stands for the back side. And if we click on that, it will take you and you can have a look at the back side of the knife. Obviously, if you are creating your own trade, sorry, I've just realized that it didn't actually scroll down on the on my OBS software, so apologies about that. But you can see here now basically that I've included 2 screenshots. You can obviously create these screenshots. I'm not going to go into a tutorial about how to create screenshots and how to get the links for them. I'm sure there are other tutorials about that elsewhere, but basically the concept is that it's always nice to include some screenshots. Now, I've gone about this for quite a while, so let's move on and let's talk about float value. I've not done too much research into this, but the basic concept that I've got about float value is that it gives a great indication as to exactly what your items are worth, in the sense that if some person advertised a rifle or something, a skin, and said it looked in minimal wear condition, you can now actually physically prove whether he is telling the truth. You can say, well, actually, I've looked at your float value and your weapon or your skin isn't actually looking minimal wear, if he claims that to be. So let's have a look at the website. This is called csgo.exchange, and all you need to do is sign in through Steam. So let's do that ourselves. Now, the site is only in beta, I do believe, at the second, so do forgive me if it is a bit slow. I'm going to click on the beta here, and I'm going to have to keep clicking it. Luckily, it seems to have done it on the second try, but just be careful, guys. If you do keep clicking beta and it doesn't do it and it keeps failing to load, just keep retrying and it should eventually work. What you'll then get is a little option over here where my mouse is now. I haven't got it at the second, but it will basically say to load the raw exterior value. And what this does is it brings up a number, which I'll show you in a second, and you can see what your item is worth. So let's go down to my Karambit Doppler, because we've been using that as an example for most things so far. And as you can see on my trade, if we click over to that, I said that it had a perfect float value of 0.001. And I'm sure a lot of you, if you go into a trade and see these numbers, will be like, what is he talking about? So let's go and have a look at what I mean. If you click on the item showcase, you can have a look at all of your skins here and see what you've got. So this is my Karambit Doppler, which I've renamed to my Twitter tag, as a lot of people do. And here you can see a bar giving an indication to its wear. You can see this red bar here just to the left hand side of my mouse, and you can see that the red bar couldn't get any further up the scale as possible. So if I said that I had a factory new Karambit Doppler, but it was right down at the bottom here, that red mark, you would be able to tell that it wasn't in very good condition. It would probably have quite a few more scratches on it than one where the red bar was right up the top here. It's as simple as that. You can just have a look at this scale and see whether the condition of the skin that you're looking at is in good condition or bad condition, depending on where it lands on the scale. Also, it will come up with a number here. So you can see this very long number here just above the scale, which I'm hopefully pointing at. So I hope you can see that. And you can see here that my float value is 0.00188, blah, blah, blah. It keeps going on forever. The lower that number, the better. If my float value was, for example, 0.6 something and kept going along, the red bar would then be further down. But because the red bar is right at the top of the scale, or the graph, whatever you want to call it, the bar, you can see that the number is very low. So when looking at float values, the lower the number, the better the knife is for its wear value. Simple as that. Once again, if you do have any questions on on float value, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll hope to try and get back to you guys and explain it a bit better. But that's just a very quick introduction to float value. One other thing that you can do on this site is that you can also search for other people's inventories. I won't show an example now, but all I can do here is enter in the Steam ID 64 or the custom URL of somebody, paste it in there, and it will bring up their inventory, and then once again I can load the raw exterior value of their skins and have a look to see what conditions those items are in. Obviously, you don't just have to do this for knives. If I hover over the top here of my new StatTrak M4, my new StatTrak M4 Cyrex here, let me see if I can click on it. There we go, that's better now. You can see here that I can also look at the float value here. This one is a field tested condition, and you can see it's right at the top of the field tested region, almost minimal wear condition. Simple as that. This video has already gone on for about 13 minutes, so now I'm just going to cover the last little section of tips that I can give you guys. Here is a Reddit thread basically giving you all of the information about high tier knives and their current worth. I have to note out here, just as a disclaimer, I do not agree with all of these prices. I personally feel that a lot of these prices shown on this Reddit thread are lowballs. If you're not aware what I mean by lowballs, once again, check out the video that I linked in the description to my last CSGO Lounge video, and it will give you a better idea of what I mean by lowballs. I feel personally that not all of these prices are correct. With that being said, nowadays, a lot of people on CSGO Lounge, when trading high-tier knives or high-tier items, as you can see, let me just go down a bit, you can see a couple of guns here as well, which are worth quite a lot in keys. They will use this Reddit thread as a guide. So you can have a look at your knife, you can have a look at the condition of it. So for example, let's find my Karambit. Well, actually my Karambit's not on here because it's not a new skin. But I can have a look here and go, okay, so I've got a buyout of 300 keys on my knife. Let's have a look at this. or a Karambit Fade, which is one of the things I was looking for. You can see here, Karambit Fade. Let's have a look and see what one I should be aiming for. So a 30 to 70% fade is about 290 to 300 keys. So maybe that would be a good one to aim for. Once again, as I said, guys, I'm not too sure if I believe all of these prices, but if you are trading in high tier knives, this is what a lot of people will base their buyouts off, and what they will base their offers at, basically, to be quite honest, off this thread. Once again, I will make sure to link it down in the description so you can have a look at it yourself. Feel free to use it, feel free not to use it, that is completely up to your discretion. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there for now. Once again, if you do have any questions, please make sure to leave them down in the comment section. If not, you can follow me on Twitter. It's at NIPChewy. It's just down here on my overlay, and I will make sure to post a link to that as well. So you can come and say hello to me and ask me any questions. And if there are future videos that need to be made, I will make sure I get onto that. So this has just been a little update on some of the things that have been introduced onto the trading scheme on CSGO Lounge now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, this is just from my perspective. This is just my opinion on how things have changed and how to utilize CSGO Lounge. I hope you've enjoyed the video anyway, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.